Okay, our silver bullet review for Monday, June 24th was a no news Monday. Here we had a liquidity sweep on the 1 minute time frame. And over here on ES, we have a nice divergence. So this high was not taken out on ES. And over here, this liquidity was taken and taken strongly, producing our favorite shape, which is big, healthy up candles up and down. We see that again here, down and up taking liquidity. So this movement forms a BPR, and inside we have a touch. If we go to the 2 minute time frame here, not so clear on the BPR here, but the fair value gap is much, much nicer. If you can see from here to here, wick to wick, so here to here we have a nice fair value gap. So the first entry is on BPR and take profit here. Then market comes back up again, touches into the fair value gap, which is very nice on the 2 minute, and drops down to here for a little more profit here. This then becomes a liquidity sweep for the second move, which is a much prettier BPR. From here to here, this whole area, this fair value gap is covered. Fair value gap from the body to the wick here, up to the wick. This bar closes over the fair value gap, so we have a BPR, a balanced price range. Entry is here. Do not wait for an optimal trade entry. This was very nice that it came back in and touched the BPR. Usually, when this bar closes over the fair value gap, which becomes an IFVG and inversion fair value gap, and fair value gap plus IFVG plus fair value gap equals BPR. So usually I would want to enter right here, and then it comes up and touches. Here I'd want to enter right here, and I'm not waiting for it to come down and touch at a better price, optimal trade entry, OTE, as ICT calls it. Just need to enter immediately. Price comes up all the way up here to a take profit point, this buy side liquidity, just here. And finally, this also becomes a liquidity sweep here and here, taking all this buy side. Liquidity sweep here. And on this second movement, we also had divergence. Here we had liquidity sweep and divergence on ES and YM as well. And finally, the movement goes all the way up. And now the third movement, we have liquidity sweep, no divergence. No divergence. This is taken here. Healthy bars down, and a lot of wick gaps. This is a wick gap. If we go to the 2 minute, we see this entire thing. And because wicks are gaps, so I now use and I now allow wicks to be the entire fair value gap. So the bodies of the candle are where I now draw the fair value gap lines on wick gaps. If there's wicks overlapping the gaps, I use the bodies of the candle to determine the parameters, the boundaries of the fair value gap. So this entire thing is a fair value gap, even though we see wicks all over the place, because on lower time frames, 1 minute and 30 seconds, those wicks contain and are respecting smaller fair value gaps. So entry was possible even here, because this is a wick gap from here to here, overlapping. So that's a wick gap, could enter here. Healthy bar down, many opportunities showing that the market is not pushing above it, showing that this is respected, this is respected, this is a liquidity sweep. So entry here, and I would probably exit here once I see that it's starting to move up. But the reason why it comes back into this fair value gap is because ES did not yet hit its take profit, which is here. So price is coming down, just a random place on ES, moves back up to what is a fair value gap here, and then comes all the way down, and ES here, and hit its take profit, this liquidity point here. Is 1049, which is here on NQ, 1049. So this is the first take profit point, and then ES moves all the way down to here, allowing for more profit on NQ. And if we check this on the 2-minute, we see that whole thing is a fair value gap perfectly from the body of the candle to the body, respecting within. So we had a lot of movements on this No News Monday. Liquidity sweep, divergence, BPR to liquidity point, take profit point, touch a fair value gap, down to another take profit point, which became a liquidity sweep. And this liquidity sweep was a divergence on ES, forming a BPR up to this take profit point. Liquidity sweep, healthy bars down, forming wick gaps on the 2-minute, very nice fair value gaps on the 2-minute, down, coming back up to a fair value gap, and down again to take profit here and taking profit here on ES. And that is the Silver Bullet review for Monday, June 24th.